To our conversations around youth death, there's one person who's taken a big risk with his life and then actually watched it pay off. It's the fashion designer, David Tlale. When he was young, he told his mom he was going to be an accountant. Then, when he got his chance to design clothes, he grabbed it not with one hand, but with both of them. As you know, he hasn't looked back since. David, good afternoon to you. Thanks for your time. How important is it when you're young, if you spot a chance, to grab it the moment it comes your way?
I mean, it's very important. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I think it's very important I think that the departure point is knowing who you are. And, I mean, we look at ourselves as a brand, or me as David Tlale, before becoming a designer. Like you said, I wanted to be an internal auditor. And I had to take that opportunity when that penny dropped to say, this is who you are, this is what you need to be doing. I had to take that opportunity with both hands, my time, my mind, my soul, my everything. And like you said, I mean, since day one I walked into that fashion class, I've never looked back. And it hasn't been easy. It's been a very, it's been a struggle throughout. But until today, I'm grateful that, I stomached it out until where we are now as a brand.
Can it be hard to recognize the chance when it comes? Or do you think it always sort of flashes in your face? You realize, this is what I want to do. Or can it actually be quite hard to know this is the great opportunity? Many people, I'm one of them. I may have lost the chance in like before becoming a designer. We never listen to ourselves. We listen to what the public is telling us. We listen to what our families are telling us, what they want of us, what they expect of us. And we lose those chances in our lives. So it's very important to have that discerning ear, or that discerning hearing aid, I would say. But as a creative, it always comes from within. You know that, let me do this, I'm taking a chance. And chance can give you two answers. You can win or you can lose. And you have nothing to lose, because if you don't take the chance, you won't know that you are actually cut for this. You don't know that if you are meant for this. So always, you as a person, you have that inner intuition to say, actually, let me just go for this. So young people, they just want to hear affirmation from people. Many times when you get affirmation, that's when you go wrong. And even with, when I buy fabrics, or when I show fabrics with my team, or show them a particular print with Deborah, they say, yeah, we love this. And, I'm like, okay, this is a sign. I must walk away from this because everybody likes it. To be different, you must always go for what people don't like. And it's just like chance. When people are affirming with you, like, yeah, go, 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 then you're going to lose. That's so interesting. I mean, one of the things that I think so many people, wrestle with is that you have what you want to do, the sensible thing, the accountancy thing, the BCom if you're going to university, or whatever it is. And then you have your dream. I mean, you did yours. I'm doing mine right now as I talk to you. How important is it I mean, my advice to people is always go with your dream, because you'll be good at it, right? Do you agree with that, or do you think sometimes you actually need to take the safer option?
Absolutely. I mean, I can only tell you my story. If I took up the safer options, I don't know who I am. I'd be lost. I'd be calculating and trying to balance sheet people's books and stuff. And but your dream and your vision is God-given. It's God-granted. And remember, we are made in the image of God, and we know what's creative. We know what will work. And if you're following your dream, you're going to sacrifice. You can even do the job without being paid. You're going to work sleepless nights. You're going to give it your all, because it is your dream. But if you're doing what people say, yeah, you're good at this, I think accounting would have been great. Guess what? You're going to get tired. One day, when you find yourself, you're going to say, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm following my dream. And guess what? You've wasted time. You wasted energy. You've wasted money. And sadly, is that time lost can never be regained. It's as simple as all that. It's an old saying, and we thought our parents or grandparents didn't know what they were talking about. But I look at myself. There's few things that I wanted to chase, which were my dreams. I never did. And now I'm doing them, still in the space of fashion, still in the space of industry. I know that if I did it like 5 years ago, I'd be further. But I was just like, I'm too focused on what I'm doing right now. I don't have time for anything else. But you know what? We have ample time in our hands. We have 24 hours in a day. We can use 20 hours to work and chase our vision, rest for 4 hours, and continue
pursuing your dream because it's very fulfilling. And remember, like I said before, you don't have, sometimes you're going to go without being paid to pursue your dream.
It's so interesting. I mean, you must come across people. I mean, people must tap you on the shoulder. They must tag you at fashion shows, and I'm hoping that the fashion shows come back soon during the coronavirus, right? But they must tag you and they must say, look, what do I do? How do I get into your industry? Can you tell immediately if someone actually has the passion for it? I mean, can you see it in their eyes almost? Or do you actually need to spend a little bit of time with that person before you can see it?
You can tell. I mean, I've been doing this for like a good 26 years. And I would say you can tell when someone is not cut for fashion. Immediately they tell you, oh, I'm doing this because I like clothes. That's not passion. You're in the wrong field. Everybody likes clothes. Everybody loves clothes. Everybody can afford clothes. So immediately you tell me the reason why you want to be in the industry. I can tell you that you're going to make it or not make it. Simple example. When we started our first year in fashion at Vaal University, there was 50 of us in our first year. When we graduated on our third year, there was 4 of us.
Wow, that's a huge cutout rate, eh? Yo.
That should tell you. Yeah, that should tell you.
Do you think, David, it's harder to make it now as a younger person than it was in your day, or do you think that it's got easier? And I realize that, you know, some of the conversations we've had today, we've spoken to the economists who talk about how many young people are unemployed and why that is. I mean, Vusi Thembekwayo believes it's because our society actually actively works against young people. We've that's been speaking to Nonhlanhla Mnisi. I mean, she's published 8 books at 28. My life is clearly a failure if you judge my life by hers. She's done so much with her life. She sees the world as being a better place for young people. How do you see it? Harder to be a young fashion designer than it was, or easier?
Look, it's both ways. It's easy for young people today to become a fashion designer, but to survive being a fashion designer is harder because now the market is oversaturated with overnight success stories. You know, social media platform that launches people, and after social media, you don't know where these people are. But the market, or I would say the ground right now, is very much conducive because, look, I mean, you look at the history of fashion in South Africa from 1994 to where we are. We're able to go to proper fashion schools. We're able to access materials. We're able to create. We can even tell our own narrative. We can tell our stories. We can tell our heritage to the world. But question is, how do you tell it? And what makes it so different? To outshine what David Tlale is doing, to outshine what Maxhosa is doing, to outshine what the likes of House of Ole is doing. Your story must be, yes, there's nothing new under the sun, but there must be something special about your narrative. There must be something that would draw our attention from all these thousands of people that wanting to become fashion designers. What is your core? What is your essence? And the sad part is our young people, most of young people, they are neither here or there or even celebrating our history as South Africa. Apartheid times and everything else, they're like, no, we hear that, we respect that, but we moved on, times have moved on. Forgetting that there is so much wealth, there is so much depth in the making of the history of South Africa. And today, we as a current generation, we have so much to tell. And if you look at a graduate or from the, I would say, 95, 98, early 2000s, they have more roots and more depth to talk about because they still saw the struggle and everything else. And now you combine the two worlds, the world of, because I've lived, I think, during both dispensations, through the apartheid regime and through our... Hello?
Yes, we're still with you, David. Yeah.
Okay, so I've lived through the two dispensations, the apartheid time and the democracy, and you compare the two worlds. It's very difficult to combine them. It's either you decide you're going to be an old school person or you're going to be a new school, new age person. So what the struggle is combining the two and making sure that you can tell a beautiful narrative about South Africa, about being young today and having possibilities. Remember, as a nation, we come from a country with possibilities, but now we have to reinvent new ways of doing things. So question is, Can you make it? Yes, you can make it. Easy? No, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult because you have to fight for your spot because there's many of us in the industry right now.
David Tlale, so good to speak to you and spend time with you this Youth Day. Really do appreciate the time. Thanks very much indeed. Fashion design.